Let's check in, though, with our next guest, the great Gene Battaglia. Give him a follow on X at Gene Battaglia. Make sure you guys check out the Sports Bar, 3 to 6 p.m. weekdays with Gene Battaglia, Mike Danger, 95.7 The Fan, Rochester. Gene, one more sleep until Bills Ravens. How we doing, bud?
Oh, we've been waiting for this for how long, PJ? I'm doing great. It's sunny out here in Western New York. Forecast looks very friendly tomorrow. Feeling like fall here, buddy.
Gene, what is your favorite NFL week of the year? Is it Super Bowl Sunday? Is it championship week? Is it divisional week? Is it week one? I feel like for people it's different. I think they all have their strengths and what make them great. But what is your favorite football week of the year? Because week one NFL Sunday, definitely one of the top days on the sports calendar.
I think if I had to say a favorite day, it's Championship Sunday, because those games always, I think, deliver more than the Super Bowl itself over the course of time. But if you had to say what is a favorite weekend, it's this, and there is some recency bias in this, but we all have memories of what this is like, and I think we also forget how exciting it is. Like when we have a little bit of action, or whether you're a fantasy guy, or maybe it's your survivor pick, what a sweat is actually like. It gets your heart racing just a little bit. So to me, just having that feeling once again of just kind of diving into something that when we're working jobs and we have stresses of life, just to enjoy football again, it's awesome.
Gene, does this game tomorrow night feel to you at all like the playoff game did, where Buffalo's the home team, Ravens are the slight favorite? Just about feels like everybody's picking Baltimore. They have a key injury to one of their receivers. Last year, no Zay Flowers. This year, no Likely. And here we are with the Bills at home, and it just doesn't feel like many people are picking them. You guys have been talking about this game all week. Have you mentioned maybe the similarities to the game? Does it all remind you of when they met in the divisional round last year?
Yeah, it's noteworthy. Last time the Bills were a home underdog in the regular season, you've got to go back to 2020. That was Seattle coming in here, and the Bills were just kind of coming into their own. And granted, they were coming off their first playoff season with Josh Allen. It's been that long, and for the idea that the line flipped this week, and I just think that might be a lot of emotional money. But that being said, I think the money's on the right side here. I think that for Baltimore, this is something that should have been sticking in their craw all last year. Did the Bills win that game? Sure. Did Baltimore last year in January have something to do with that, handing them the game? Of course they did. You don't turn the ball over 3 times in a meaningful game like that. You have to, not drop the ball in the end zone like Mark Andrews. There's a lot of things that the Ravens left on the table. Don't forget Derrick Henry on the opening drive. He drops an easy pass in the flat. If he takes that the distance, so many mistakes Baltimore made in that game. I expect a cleaner performance coming up tomorrow night from Baltimore.
How much of a concern is that Bills secondary? I think that's been one of the big talking points this week. No Maxwell Harrison got injured. No Trey White. They are banged up in the secondary, Gene. Again, the Ravens are going to be without Likely, so they are missing one of their top receivers and a guy who had a great playoff game last year. But for you, is that really one of the areas of concern going into the game? Is the Bills back end?
Yeah, it's the area of concern. The idea that you have to start a third-string corner in this game. And your second-string corner, Tre'Davious White was an All-Pro when he was okay with Baltimore last year, but that wasn't the plan when the Bills drafted Maxwell Harrison. The Bills didn't spend in free agency at that position. But beyond that, PJ, it was kind of a down camp for Cole Bishop. He missed a lot of time when he was in there, missing some assignments. The idea that they had to play him a lot in the Chicago game just to get him some reps. So we're not sure what the position next to Taylor Rapp is going to hold for Buffalo. So granted, you have Christian Benford. He's a top 10 corner in this league, I believe. But beyond that, in the Bills secondary, I think there's going to be some opportunities for Baltimore to take advantage of.
We're talking with Gene Battaglia here on Inside the Betting Lines, co-host of the Sports Bar, 3 to 6 p.m. weekdays. The Fan, 95.7 The Fan in Rochester. Gene, obviously a big talking point last year was kind of who was going to be the number one receiver for the Bills, who was going to be Josh Allen's go-to guy. And I think it's one of the big reasons he won MVP. He didn't have Diggs in his ear every possession. He could kind of just go out, distribute, play point guard. Shakir emerged as his top guy, but we definitely don't think of him as a number one. Going into this season, would you expect Shakir again to be the top target? I know there are some people that think Keon Coleman could have a big year too. How do you kind of see the Bills receiving distribution looking this season?
It's funny. There's some people that think that Josh Palmer, the former Charger, could be that guy too. Shakir coming off an ankle injury. Now, he practiced fully this week, but this might not be the Keon Coleman week. He was limited a little bit. There is some sort of groin issue, soft tissue injuries at the beginning of the season. Not always a good thing. But as far as the Bills' distribution with Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator, I don't expect anything to change. So when it comes to prop bets here, PJ, when it comes to which receiver should I play in fantasy, I think it's always kind of a dicey thing for Buffalo. The cliche, fantasy or whack-a-mole, like which guy is going to pop up this week. I don't think you're going to have any one particular receiver pop, and that includes Dalton Kincaid. The safest thing I could say, though, is James Cook is a true difference maker from Buffalo. Is he going to get to 16 touchdowns this season? I don't think so, but certainly he's a true number one in this Bills backfield as far as game-breaking ability.
The total, a lot of people are talking about that, Gene. Normally, if you just kind of blind bet a total this high, week one, primetime, right? Primetime unders, 50.5. Last year, this game was 27-25, so went barely over the total. You have two of the top quarterbacks in the league, the last two MVPs, two great offenses. Weather shouldn't be that much of a factor on Sunday night. You think we get a shootout? Do you think it's more of like a 24-23 type game, like 50.5, Gene, if you had to make a play, over under for you tomorrow night?
I called it under, and the reason for this is I've watched enough Bills Chiefs over the years, and the way the Bills like to play those games, they like to maximize every possession. They're not go 13 seconds. They took some shots downfield in that game, but I would be surprised. I would think it'd be a lot of ball control, making sure that we're not turning the ball over. I don't expect this game to go over. Also, if you look at recent Bills history in week one, last year, they're down 14-0 to Arizona. So it took a little while for that offense to go. 2 years ago, Allen turns the ball over 4 times and they lose to Zach Wilson. Aaron Rodgers was only in there for a little bit. You go back 4 years, the Bills lose to the Steelers at home. He did have a win in Los Angeles against the Rams, but over the last 4 years, it's a small sample size, but this is a Bills offense that sometimes week one, they're not, all ready to go right out of the gate.
Gene, let's talk big picture with Buffalo. And I'm sure you know it by now. A lot of people are picking the Bills this year to win the Super Bowl, right? Like, how does that make you feel? Do you like it when everybody's backing your team? Are you like, all right, people are seeing maybe what we're seeing? Like, we know this team's good enough. Does it make you nervous when everybody's on your team? Like, how do you feel about it? Peter Schrager, who's like known for picking the Super Bowl winner every year, likes the Bills this year. So how do you feel about a lot of people liking the Bills to win the Super Bowl?
I think it's a mental thing, PJ. Meaning, okay, are the Bills going to win the division? Yes. Will the Bills win the divisional round? They always seemingly do as a 2 seed or whoever is the one that get the 7. When you get to that position, when you need a play, are the Bills going to rise to the occasion? Can somebody on defense step up and make a play? Can the coaching staff make the right call? It's always come down to one thing or here or there for the Bills when it comes to their postseason losses. What can change that for Buffalo this year? How about an easier path in the McDermott era? They have yet to get the 1 seed. Isn't that crazy? Like, they have won all these games, but Baltimore's been a 1. Kansas City a bunch of times. I think that would go a long way. I know that you just kind of skip past the wild card round, but it also gives you the opportunity to rest some guys. And this is a veteran team. So I think that is step 1. Step 2 is, what would be the other key? Who on this defense is going to be the guy that can make the play at a critical time? You've hoped over the years it's Ed Oliver. We've seen flashes from Greg Rousseau. Can one of those guys kind of step up? Or could you have a Joey Bosa, like the forgotten guy here? He was on the scrap heap. He comes in 1 year, $12 million, kind of a prove-it deal. Joey Bosa on Buffalo. That's interesting to me. Is this going to work? And everybody looks great in the summer, PJ, but how will it translate over the course of the season? And again, like you mentioned right at the top here, the secondary. What are we going to have when Maxwell Harrison is healthy? What are we going to get out of Dorian Strong? Dorian Strong, a rookie who's going to start. I mean, there are so many questions on the defense, both from the guys that are new to the veterans that we're expecting bigger plays from.
Would you take a look at Josh to win MVP again? I mean, look, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He's probably going to put up great numbers again. We know it's hard for a guy to go back-to-back and win the award. But do you think there's a great chance, Gene? He just gets better and better every year. I mean, do you think he can win it again?
To answer your question, yes, I think he could. Do I think he will, though? No. And I think the MVP, a lot of it comes down to narrative. And I thought the conversation last year was, hey, Lamar is a great player. Me saying Josh Allen is the MVP, it's not disparaging Lamar. There could be, so whoever that quarterback is this year, I'll make a prediction. Whoever gets the 1 seed will go a long way to determining who gets the MVP. And that's quite often the case, right?
Yep.
So we were, Kansas City won games last year, but was it because of Mahomes, or was it because we viewed that team getting lucky that took them out of any MVP conversation? And the Bills finished ahead of the Ravens. So to me, that was kind of ultimately the tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, watching the Chiefs lose a 1-score game last night, Gene, I forgot what that looked like. I think a lot of us did, right? We're like, whoa, that can happen to that team? Crazy. Gene, we got about 3 minutes left. Let's talk about the division. The Bills are heavy favorites. They're the biggest favorite to win the AFC East than any team is to win their division in the NFL this season. I think the real interesting talking point for the AFC East, how many teams make the playoffs, and who is the second team to the Bills in that division. Most would tell you New England. I think it might be the Jets, Gene. Who do you think finishes second in the AFC East?
I'm with trepidation. I'm saying New England because it's all new there, right? We get to kind of see that. Would it surprise me for the Raiders to go on their win? Absolutely not. It's a long season. The Jets are interesting, and I think what this year should be for the Jets are, can they go through a season, where you're not embarrassed as a Jet fan to watch this team and root for this team? Can the new head coach, Aaron Glenn, establish a culture? Can this be the team that nobody wants to play because they're going to give full effort? I think that's the hope for the Jets, is that by the end of the year, maybe they'll have 7-8 wins, but they're playing hard and you don't want them on the schedule. So could the Jets be this team on the rise? They just need to figure out ultimately who their quarterback is going to be. I'm really concerned about Miami and the Dolphins, and I don't know if they get off to a slow start here, how long Mike McDaniel is to be the head coach there.
Yeah, all right, great stuff. As always, Gene Battaglia joining us, giving some time. Give him a follow on X at Gene Battaglia. Make sure you guys check out the Sports Bar, 3 to 6 p.m. weekdays with Gene, Mike Danger, the fan in Rochester. Great show. I'm on there every Wednesday, too, so make sure you guys check it out. All right, Gene, always good talking to you.
3:25 Eastern, where PJ brings us his plays, and if you're a hockey fan, we call it the home and home here. That's what we call it.
Yeah, that we do. Gene, I'm watching this Iowa State game. Do you know who the quarterback for Iowa State is?
Tell me.
Rocco Becht is the quarterback for Iowa State. Gene, I'll see you Wednesday, pal. Enjoy the game tomorrow.
PJ, you're the best.
All right, man. Great stuff there from Gene Battaglia. Addy, every week I go on that show and I do a Baltimore accent. We have to, we they want the name. So sometimes if it's golf season, Bryson DeChambeau. A lot of times it'll be an NFL guy though. So whenever I'm with Gene, I gotta, the accent.
What's the best NFL name to do in a Baltimore accent?
Man, best NFL name to do. I do love, the fact that he was the quarterback for the Ravens, it's hard not to love Joe Flacco like that. That's a pretty good one. Joe Burrow is a good one. Tim Tebow is also any of those. But I think the fact that Flacco was the quarterback for the Ravens, it's just, it's perfection.